What is up, guys? This is Chase Oliver 68 here, bringing you another video to my channel. If you guys don't notice, I got a new camera. Please tell me how it looks. Tell me if the quality is good. Tell me if there's any lagging sound problems. I'll fix that later. But right now, I'm here to bring you TNA Destination X 2012 review. The show kicked off with Mason Andrews facing off against Lars Only, Rubix, and Dakota Darshow. This fatal four-way kind of felt short. It was the last chance to get inside the exhibition tournament, but I understand why it kind of felt short. Really cool spots between all men here. Mason Andrews ends up winning. He celebrates for a little bit, but then Kid Cash comes along, and we get Kid Cash versus Mason Andrews. Kid Cash, basically the whole match was kind of breaking down Mason Andrews. Andrews got some cool spots in between, but the whole match was basically focusing on Kid Cash and talking about his new MMA background and how Kid Cash was some MMA expert. And Kid Cash pretty much was doing all these new type of submission holds, which was kind of interesting, but he still stayed true to his wrestling form. Understand that, Brock Lesnar. But in the end, Mason Andrews gets the upset victory. Mason Andrews moves on to the X Division Championship. Samoa Joe was backstage, and Samoa Joe talked about how he's going to destroy Kurt Angle and move his way up closer to James Storm in the Bound for Glory series. Follow up, Christy Hemme asked, who do you think is going to win tonight? And he basically said that he has Austin Aries winning the world title. Makes perfect sense to me. Next up, we have Douglas Williams versus Kenny King. Kenny King is obviously a huge fan favorite right now in the YWC, of course, from his days in ROH, and also for what he did in TNA on the last episode. But the thing about Kenny King and Douglas Williams is I love this match. This match was fucking awesome. What I like about Douglas Williams is that he adds more value and more interest in the X Division. He adds different styles. It's not always the same flip-de-flip-de-flip-de-flip. It's different type of values in this match that is why many people like Doug Williams, is he makes the X Division interesting. It's not just, oh, look, it's the flips. It's like Douglas Williams knows how to make an X Division match fun. Although it can get kind of slow, and the X Division is known for being type of a fast-paced action, I really do like that Douglas Williams and Kenny King worked so well together. And if Kenny King is still with TNA, I don't know what TNA is doing with his contract and his situation in ROH. I would love to see a Williams versus Kenny King field. Kenny King wins, and we move on forward. Next up, we have Christopher Daniels backstage, and he talks about how he's better than AJ Styles, and another freaking feud with AJ. LOL. Yeah, let's move on from that shit. Sanjay Dutt versus Rashad Cameron. Now, I'm going to be honest here. I'm not really huge on Rashad Cameron, but was I interested in an all-black Ultimate X match? You damn right I was. But in the end, that didn't happen, and I'm happy Sanjay Dutt won. Standard really X Division match between these two. Nothing really stood out besides Sanjay Dutt's finisher, in my opinion. This match was just kind of standard. Nothing really too special. I wouldn't say it was a terrible match. It wasn't a terrible match. It just didn't feel really all that great. And it was really hard to follow up, especially that Douglas Williams and Kenny King's match, which I thought was really fucking good. So, yeah. But to me, one of the highlights of the night was the Jesse Sorensen update that they were doing. And talking about his mom and his girlfriend, talking about how Jesse Sorensen couldn't move his limbs and his road to recovery. And then we got a shocking twist. Jesse Sorensen was at the event, and the fans were eating this up. And TNA, you better do what he said. You better pull this fucking trigger, otherwise I'm going to be so fucking pissed. When Jesse Sorensen said, that he is looking to regain the X Division, become the X Division champion and cash it in at the next TNA Destination X to become world champ, I better see that at Destination X 2013. I better see Jesse Sorensen main eventing, because that is something I would love to see, especially the way you've been building him up. And at the end of the segment really got me when Zema Ion came out. When Zema Ion came out, I was like, oh shit. Shit just got real. And that is what I liked the most, how shit just got real when Zema Ion came out. Zema Ion faced against Flip Casanova. I felt this match was pretty short between the two. Zema Ion and Flip Casanova had an alright standard match. Zema Ion wins. Let's move on. I was more interested in what Jesse Sorensen was saying, and I'm glad Zema Ion won, and I'll talk about the Ultimate X, of course, later on after the other two matches. They had an X Division backstage segment with Kenny King, Mason Andrews, and Sanjay Dutt. They were talking about how they were all going to win the X Division championship and, become great X Division champions. And Bobby Roode came out and said, the X Division doesn't mean anything. I'm the king of this company. Austin Aries won't beat me for the world title. I'll always be the world champion no matter what. So you can kiss your little dream of becoming X Division champions goodbye. Very good backstage segment, so building up to the main event. Then we have Samoa Joe versus Kurt Angle. Very good match between these two. Another good Samoa Joe and Kurt Angle match. The ending was cool. How Samoa Joe made Kurt Angle passed out, and it was a way where it didn't make Kurt Angle look too weak, because Angle, you want to keep him as one of those main guys in the Bound for Glory series, especially with how TNA is live for this summer, I believe, and a lot of people may start tuning in. Kurt Angle is a guy that you want to be featured in that Bound for Glory series, because a lot of people know guys like Kurt Angle and Jeff Hardy more than a Samoa Joe and a James Storm. Kurt Angle didn't lose in a harsh fashion. Samoa Joe wins and is moving inch by inch closer. And how funny is it that last year Samoa Joe had like negative points in Bound for Glory series, was pretty much out and taking out everybody in the series, and now he's like one of the main guys that could possibly maybe even win the series, be one of the final four. So this to me was very funny. But Kurt Angle loses. Very good match between the two. A lot of fun spots. Next up, we got AJ Styles versus Christopher Daniels again. Well, what I will say about this last man standing match was that it was a good brawl and it was a fun little matchup. I do like the new stuff that they were trying to input into this match, with like AJ Styles doing the moonsault DDT onto the outside, Daniels with his freaking moveset working so well on the outside. I really like that. But the thing is, it's another AJ and Daniels match. And I've seen this match so many times much better. I've seen Iron Man matches better than this last man standing. I know there was blood. But just because there's blood and there was some cool spots on the outside of the ring does not make me think this is one of the greatest last man standing matches. I just thought it was okay. I mean, when you see these guys wrestle so many fucking times and you know that they could probably put on a 10 times better match than this, it's just really hard to really look at this match and really say this was a really great match. It was a good match, nonetheless. Kazarian came out, and I thought Daniels was going to win and they were going to continue this, but AJ Styles ended up winning, so that's good for AJ. And we move on to Austin Aries backstage, talking about how he will become the World Heavyweight Champion. Next up, we got the Ultimate X match. Kenny King versus Zema Ion versus Sanjay Dutt versus Mason Andrews. This X Division match was repetitive. High spot, climb the cables, get taken down. High spot, climb the cables, get taken down. It wasn't a bad X Division match. Of course, the spots are cool to look at, but when it happens all the fucking time, it gets annoying. The ending was probably the most weirdest and best part of this whole match. When all the guys were climbing up to the freaking scaffold, Sanjay Dutt and Zema Ion were above the wires, and Kenny King and Mason Andrews were face to face with each other, and then Kenny King hit this huge neck breaker, which pretty much took out both him and Mason Andrews. And then you move on to what Zema Ion and shit are doing, and really, it was very interesting what Zema Ion and Sanjay Dutt were doing. I thought Dutt was going to win this because a lot of fans do like Sanjay Dutt. But when Zema Ion sprayed him with the hairspray, it was the weirdest fucking shit I've ever seen, especially for an Ultimate X match to end. But then I was smiling ear to ear, because now it makes sense. When Jesse Sorensen comes back, TNA, he better fucking feud for Zema Ion for that goddamn X Division title. Because if he doesn't, I'll be goddamn pissed. You better keep Zema Ion as fucking champion for a long time. But I'm happy with the result. But the X Division match was kind of stale, repetitive, but it was an okay match. Now we get on to the main event of the evening. Austin Aries versus Bobby Roode. Match started off slow, but then picked up and had to be one of my favorite world title matches in TNA. Not just because of the result, just because of how the match worked. See, the thing is, it worked perfectly. The babyface starts off, and he gets his offense going. He's getting the crowd riled up, and then Bobby Roode shuts up the crowd. Tells Aries he can't do it. Tells Aries, oh no, you can't. And then Aries gets this firing passion. It almost looked like Aries was about to hulk up a little bit. Aries goes and he starts to hit Bobby Roode. hit Bobby Roode, gets all these fucking moves in, and then afterwards Bobby Roode reverses it with a submission. Aries gets his own submission. Bobby Roode's about to cheat to win. No, Austin Aries does it. He becomes X Division Champion of the world. And that is something I really enjoy. I am happy Austin Aries became X Division Champion, but there's also a negative to this. James Storm and Bobby Roode. What are they going to do with that? Because really, to be honest, the only way James Storm and Bobby Roode would have worked for me is if Bobby Roode's reign ended because of James Storm. His reign of terror ended because James Storm ended it, not because Austin Aries ended it. So I don't know what they're going to do with James Storm and Roode. Maybe they will just have a match at Bound for Glory. Maybe TNA is thinking, oh, well, you know, James Storm already had a world title opportunity against Bobby Roode. Maybe we want to give the fans something different. They could probably do a grudge match at Bound for Glory. You know, that type of thing. I don't know what they're going to do, but I'm happy for Austin Aries. I really do like that he won because it adds more to the whole cash-in idea by TNA. Thank you guys for watching this Destination X review. Destination X overall I thought was a pretty solid show with some weak matches in the middle. To be honest, this show, it's going to be remembered more for its ending than the whole show itself, which rightfully so. And I give Destination X a B-. Anyways, once again, thank you. Subscribe to this channel if you liked it. Like this video if you liked it. Dislike it if you didn't like it. Comment down below your thoughts on Destination X 2012. Check out my video game channel, CO Live Videos. And follow me on Twitter at ChaseOliver68. This is Chase, and I say see y'all.